Okay, so we will first start with setting up our environment so we can start writing programs in Python. So in this video we will talk about the installation of Python, installation of Pycharm, installation of virtual environment, what virtual environment actually is and what problem does it solve, and after that we will start writing actual programs in Python. So here is the Python website, python.org, and in download section you can find the Python package here which you can download. So here's the current version is 3.7.4. You can use any Python 3 version, right? Make sure you are using Python 3 and not Python 2. I will add all the links to these all the requirements in the description below. So the next thing we need to download is Pycharm. Pycharm is basically an IDE which we will use for our development. It has a wide range of support for different frameworks like Django, pure Python scripts, and Angular, and like many other technologies. So we can download PyCharm from here. So I will also add the link to this in the description. So there are two versions, professional and community. For now we can just use community because we are just using Python and not any package or any framework with it. So you can just download the community version from here. I've already downloaded it. So the next thing I would like to tell you about is this link. So this is a learning center on the JetBrains website. So it has some some beginners things to learn about Python, some tips and tricks, some shortcuts, so you can go and search these and look into these links to to get some additional knowledge. So these are the basically three things we need to install. So let's say you have downloaded this and you have downloaded Python, right? So the next thing we will do is we will start Pycharm. Okay, so for running Pycharm, you can just open the Pycharm, and then here you can use create new project, and we will go for pure Python because we are just using Python, plain Python. So we can call it Python course for now. And okay, so here is the project interpreter, right? It is asking us which interpreter do we want to use, and it is giving us an option to to make a new virtual environment. So what virtual environment does basically is it will create a separate environment for our project. So if we install any packages in our project, and if we have any dependencies in our project, that will affect only our current project, and the packages we install will have the scope of our project only, right? So packages installed in one virtual environment won't be available in other virtual environments or in our outside the virtual environment. So the problem it solves basically is, let's say you are working on two projects, and in one project you are using let's say version 1.2 of Django, right? And you have another project in which you are using version 2 of Django, right? So if you install Django package your system wide, that will cause incompatibility between those two projects, because you want different version of same package for different projects. So this is a problem virtual environment will solve. So it will keep the packages, the scope of the packages limited to that virtual environment only. So it is a good practice to always use virtual environment, even if you don't have any dependencies, because you never know when you will need a new package, right? So we can just create a new environment here, and yes, we will use virtual environment. There are other options like pipenv and conda. These are all the packages which provide the virtual environment facilities. So we will just go with the default one, and yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it. It will create the virtual environment itself. So let's create a new project, and okay, so it will take some time, maybe installing some built-in packages, setting up indexes so we can search to our project and search to our file and stuff like that. Okay, we will just wait. Okay, so here we go. We have our new Python project here, and here is the virtual environment. So here, if you can see, we have a terminal button here. So if you press this, it will open a shell, the Mac terminal or whatever operating system you are using. And if you can see, we have VNV written here. So VNV is the name of our virtual environment, which was selected by default. You can change it, of course. So whenever you are inside a virtual environment, whenever you create a virtual environment, before using it, you need to activate it. So this shows that the virtual environment named VNV is activated. So whatever you will install or whatever you will do will be limited to this virtual environment. I will let you know how to deactivate a virtual environment and how to activate it manually, right? So there is a command deactivate. It will deactivate the environment. So now you can see we don't have any VNV mentioned here, so it means now we are not inside the virtual environment, right? Now if we want to reactivate the virtual environment, what we need to do is we need to run this command. So inside the virtual environment, there is a folder named bin, and there is a command script, you can say, named activate. So when you will do this, it will activate the virtual environment. Now you can see we again have VNV here, so it means the virtual environment is installed. Okay, so now we just to confirm, we should check the Python version. So we can just type Python 3, because we installed Python 3, so we need to check the version of Python 3. So we'll see, we will write Python 3 hyphen hyphen version, right? So we have Python 3.6.8 here. So that okay, so because we needed any version of Python 3. Okay, so the last thing I would like to tell you guys is about Pip. So what Pip is actually a package manager for, so it is already installed in the virtual environment. So Pip is the package manager for Python. So there is a Python package index where we have like lots and lots of packages, so and which we can download. So the recommended way to download the Python packages is using Pip. So let's say we want to install Django in our virtual environment, right? So what we will do is we will write a command to pip install. This is a general command you want to write for any package, and then you will write the name of the package to install. So let's say I want to install Django. I will say pip install Django, and if I press enter, it will install Django in my current virtual environment, right? So this is one thing you should know about Python. And the other thing, before writing code in Python, the other thing you need to know is about Pep8. So we can just see what Pep8 is. Okay, right? Style guide for Python code. So Pep8 is a convention, is a documentation, and is a guide which tells us about how to write Python code. It tells us about the conventions of Python code, what code will be called Pythonic, and how to write doc strings, how to name variables, how to write functions, all the conventions about the Python language. So, to make the Python development consistent all over the world. So this is another thing you should need to know, and you should read, like at least read the summary of all the Pep8 things which we will be using, right? Like white spaces, like comments, like naming conventions, and then yeah. So inside naming conventions, we have function and variable names. That's very important. So I would recommend you guys to go and explore this link. I will also add this link in the description of this video. So back to the Pycharm. Okay, so now we will create our first Python script, and let's see, we can just right click on this and we will say new, and what we want is Python file, right? So I will yeah, we can just create a Python file. So we will just name it whatever we want, and that would be, let's say, hello world. Yeah, we don't need .py because the type is already Python file. Okay, so now it is a hello world file. So we just need to run a simple print statement to see if it is working or not. In the next video, we will be implementing some things, right? So if we write print hello world, it should print hello world in terminal. So now how to run the Python script? So the way to run Python script is you need to like you can type Python, right, because you want to run the Python script, and then you will give the name of the script, so which is hello world.py. Just press enter and it will run any Python code in this script, which is this line. So let's see what it does. Right, see, we are having hello world here. So this was a very basic hello world program, and I wanted to give the introduction about all the things I think you guys should know before starting working with Python. In next video we will start writing some actual Python code. So see you in next video.